Hi everyone, I know I've been kind of MIA since last week after I told you that I went to a specialist, and then Friday we actually went to Chicago and got a lot of questions answered. So I wanted to make a video that kind of gives you the answers as well, because I know that a lot of you are curious and concerned. One of the first things that we found out was that I actually won't go to transplant for another 6 weeks. Reason for that is that that's how long it takes to line up a bone marrow donor and get all the logistics together. So I will be home for hopefully those full 6 weeks. During that time though, I really need to get the tooth and gums situation figured out. The thing with that is that potentially I might lose 3 of the teeth and then part of the jaw. Basically the chemo cut off blood supply to that area. We're not really sure exactly if that's going to be what happened. We still have to do some more tests, but that has to be recovered before a transplant. So some of the other questions that we got answered: I do the transplant, I do about 3 to 4 weeks in the hospital, and during that time I'll be getting more intensive chemo than I've ever had before, which makes me incredibly nervous because I've already had some pretty intense chemo, so I don't know what more intense chemo could look like, but he promises that it's going to be the most intense that I've ever had in a short amount of time. So basically for about a month beforehand, I'll be receiving this intensive chemo really close by so that they can monitor me every day. And then hopefully, eventually, I'll come back to the Milwaukee area and get all of my outpatient done in Milwaukee. So really the critical parts of this process are for about a year after it's done. They really want to monitor pretty closely to make sure that I don't get a disease called graft versus host. And what that basically means is that my body rejects the donor's marrow. And they do have medications that can help with graft versus host, which is something I didn't know. So we got a lot of questions answered. We will be in Chicago for a long period of time. It is nerve-wracking, it is intense, but I'm also excited to just get it over with. Adam, what do you think?
She is an excellent candidate for the transplant. She's young, she's healthy, she's taken well to the chemo 2 different times, she's in full remission, and there's extra stuff that came back from the bone marrow biopsy that he said were really good signs of her having a really good transplant. So he seemed extremely optimistic about the whole thing. He said that she has more donor options than most people actually ever get, which is also something awesome. He said that we just get to pick the perfect person for her. I was hoping it was going to be me, but he kind of chuckled when I said I wanted to get tested. Said it's very unlikely, but a guy can dream.
Well, I guess there's more to say because I left out all of that. I forgot all about all that stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at right now, just to give everybody a brief rundown. Yeah, that's all we know, and so that's all you know. All right, guys, see you later.